on the previous episode.
I think D Ford will settle at about that 450,000 coins. Later tonight, we have to wait for like the limited time announcements, maybe some team stand. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, episode 86 of the No Money Spent. This episode gonna be a little all over the place, not much really structured. We're just gonna be talking about the market, the general kind of vibe, what's going on with the trading market, investments, and everything. But let's hop in first, as we always do, and take a look at the limited time cards. We got two cards, of course, every Thursday. One this week being really good, and one, personally, I think that's really bad. But they could potentially be both very good investments. I mean, limited time investments have been good pretty much every single week. Terron Armstead, the first one, the highest overall left tackle now in the game, 6'5", I believe only Saints theme team. And then the second card is my underwhelming card, another 90 speed safety. Come on, EA Sports. I mean, just give him 92 speed, make him meta. 94 Harrison Smith, Vikings only theme team. Very, very underwhelming card, but he's at 94 overall. And we've seen even last weekend, James Robinson was about under like 380, 370. He went all the way back up to 500K, and he was not the best card. So Harrison Smith, probably going to still be a good investment. So I'm actually going to take this time to talk about what prices I am targeting. Now, I say targeting. I can say like D4 I want to get for 450, but it's pretty much at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the last day they're in packs. That is when I buy them. Whatever their price is for D4, it happened to be around 500, and that's what I buy for. So Harrison Smith, I'm hoping he's about under low 400s, under 400, and Terron Armstead already at 550,000. Man, that is a pretty low price. We've seen O-line limiteds basically skyrocket after they come out of packs. Ronnie Hudson went from 400 to 900 in 2 weeks. Leo Collins went from 700 to 1.1 mil in like 2 weeks. So Terron Armstead, if he really anything under 500,000, I think I'm going to buy a lot, to be honest. The O-line investments are some of these safest investments just because they don't get that position does not get many up. Like they're not a running back, they're not a wide receiver. They're not going to get upgrades every single week. The next left tackle that's going to be higher overall than Terron Armstead is probably like a month down the line, if we're being honest. But yeah, let's hop into the binder. What have I picked up? Well, you see, 4 D4s we have picked up all for under 500,000. It was 485, 489, 490, and 499. As you can see, it's like the circle of life with these limited time cards. He's already at 650,000. I have basically till this weekend, really all my cards, and I'll talk about that, to get rid of all my assets, get fully liquid going into kind of the build-up week for Thanksgiving promo. I still have quite a lot. I haven't actually sold anything on the market in terms of the 89 team of the weeks. I've just been basically doing 93 hero set when I can. I've been selling the heroes off for like good kind of 315, 320,000 price, but the 89s have kind of slightly gone up. Got to remember, every day they're going to get more and more rare on the market. Mike White is able to sell at 62,000 on Xbox. Josh Sweat is like that 61, 60,000 coin mark. So I'm still being patient on those cards. I mean, we've seen through the team of the weeks that every day goes on, there's going to go up like by 1 or 2,000 coins. So I'm not pressed really. Even though I have quite a lot, I'm just not pressed to get rid of them. As you see, the bids, the D4s, I show you proof that I did get them for the price I told you. In terms of my auctions, what have I sold? Well, you see the John Abrahams and the Reggie Wins, because I've been doing a couple of those sets with the 89s when I can kind of get those 86s for cheap. But I have sold off a couple of T.Y. Hilton and J.C. Horns, and that really is just because I needed coins to buy D4. I mean, you see the coins in the top right-hand corner. I basically have kept all my assets basically this entire week. I haven't sold much, so I did have to sell off a JC Horn, a T.Y. Hilton to be able to buy multiple D4s as well. I did finish that 13 out of 20 objective list for most feared before expired. That was the Jordan Poyer in my auctions. But hopping in really just to the market in general, I want to talk about the trading market specifically. A lot of people in the Discord I've seen are wondering basically like why is the trading market still down, right? It hasn't rebounded. Well, the problem is there is no real demand. Like, what is there to do with training, to be honest? Like, you're going to pull veterans, let's be honest. They were asked this week. They don't have the hype that maybe Rising Stars is going to get next week. And you got heavyweights, and heavyweights, no one likes to pull heavyweights in terms of the general kind of just Madden community. So there's no demand for, we don't have rerolls. No one's going to pull the most feared rerolls when they don't have limiteds in them. Training has no, like I said, no demand pretty much until we get next week. We'll probably get really good Rising Stars, and Thanksgiving promo, of course, training will have some demand. There'll probably be a reroll, but training right now, there's just no demand. That's why we haven't seen basically the 89s go from like, people have been saying like, oh, they're going to go from like 55 up to 70. Like they're going to, the problem is there's nothing to, no one is buying training right now, pretty much. That's what I'm saying. So it's actually really easy to snipe training. You just saw I picked up a Michael Pierce for 47. There is a small window, I think, this weekend where we can buy really, I mean, we have to be really, really, really greedy on training and then we might have to sell off or whatever when Rising Stars come out, but I still think we could probably buy that Tuesday when the Team of the Week kind of market dip happens, and we can just buy training then and then sell it Wednesday when Rising Stars kind of comes out. But it's never like bad to basically snipe cheap training and then eventually like lazy buy or list it over the weekend for, of course, when the price is eventually always raised throughout the later half of the weekend. But the main portion of the title of this video is some Thanksgiving and a little bit of blitz talk in terms of investments on the screen, on your screen, an Excel spreadsheet I put together of every card that has not gotten an upgrade that it was a correlate, and there's really not that many. You see some positions, right end, Chase Young is the only right end to not get an upgrade, left outside linebacker. We got Mack and Zary Smith. There's only one tight end that hasn't gotten an upgrade, that is Mark Andrews. But I'm going to highlight a couple of cards that really are the ceiling. Like, if they were to get upgrades, their price would skyrocket. They'd be the most demanded, basically most wanted cards that were to get upgrades. Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson. I mean, I should put Dalvin Cook. I don't know why I didn't highlight him. And Dak Prescott, Chase Young, Denzel Ward, and Derwin James. But this is really, you can take a screenshot of this and we can kind of like cross off some names when they get upgrades. Team Builders actually did help out with eliminating a lot of the low elites that are cards like Eric Kendricks, Dante Hightower, cards like that. But there's really not that many. I know right guard and left tackle pretty much have every core elite is due for an upgrade. But what you can take really from this list and what I'm going to go into is we're not necessarily going to be buying every single one of these cards this weekend, but I believe EA Sports is not going to go 2 weekends, meaning this weekend and next weekend, without like a big drop in content. So I think we're either going to get Series 2 next weekend or we're going to get Thanksgiving, and either way, there will be a crash when that happens. So to kind of prep for that, we're going to target our Thanksgiving investments this week, because if Thanksgiving comes out next week, well, we can't really invest during the week. The hype will build. Thursday, they're going to get revealed. Wednesday, probably get teased, so we aren't going to be able to pick up. Basically, this is going to be the lowest point we're going to be buying these core elites for the next week's kind of hopefully Thanksgiving content. So there's not really a whole lot, right? We're kind of just throwing a dart, but we can, I've talked about Market Monday, we can kind of go after the teams that haven't gotten, well, the teams that are playing on Thanksgiving are basically guaranteed a card, because it's not most feared where we think every team is going to get 190 plus, so we can't really do that. We don't know the Thanksgiving structure of that promo, so we really only can target what I'm going to be targeting specifically. Well, I do pick out a Dalvin Cook. You always want to pick out any investment kind of at their trading value. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, an 87 right now on the market in terms of trading value is like 27, 28K. So if you can pick up an 87 pretty much under like 31 or 30,000 coins, you're picking up for almost training, which means that is their floor. For Justin Jefferson, an 83, their training, I think it's actually like 5.5, 6,000 coins. So you see, I pick one up for below training at 5.5 and one at training at 6.1, which makes it can't go any lower than the training value right now. So it makes it a no-risk investment. That's how you want to properly invest in core elites. But what I'm going to be targeting really this weekend, of course, Dak Prescott, almost guaranteed to get Thanksgiving card. However, he's like 10,000 coins, so maybe this weekend, hopefully we get some Fire Legends to kind of make the market go crazy, and we'll be able to pick up a Dak Prescott for that 7,000, 6,500 target price. But there's not a whole lot to target, right, in terms of the Thanksgiving promo, because we won't have a structured kind of, we don't know that every team is going to get a 90. So really, all we can go off of is take the teams that play on Thanksgiving, and we've talked about those options. Bills, we thought it was going to be Cole Beasley. Really can't happen. Akeem Hicks did get a team builder. So for the Bears, it's either going to be Allen Robinson or Khalil Mack, hopefully. And then, like, of course, we talked about the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, the Saints, Demario Davis, or Cam Jordan. There's not a whole lot to basically, it's not like Most Feared where we can buy a bunch of different Most Feared that can potentially get upgrades. There's only going to be a select few cards, probably like 8 90 plus cards in the Thanksgiving promo, the first half, that we can invest in. So it is kind of like a needle in the haystack, but we can target the teams that do have, basically, they're playing on Thanksgiving. In terms of our blitz and kind of a look ahead, hopefully, and this is not, now if you get a Tyreek Hill for under 40, you can't really go wrong with that, but I'm not going to be targeting the guys like Derwin James, Denzel Ward, Tyreek Hill this weekend specifically, because when the Thanksgiving promo drops, there will be another huge market crash, and that is when we want to target kind of our blitz kind of investments, that being Tyreek Hill, Derwin James, like Denzel Ward, Dalvin Cook. That's when we're going to be targeting those players, really, that Thanksgiving crash, because there will be a crash. We've seen it every single promo. There's a crash when there's a major content drop. It doesn't matter what the promo is. They're even going to be most feared rerolls that kind of make the market go up, but like the core elite market, it's going to drop every time. So really, now this episode kind of was all over the place. Not a lot of structure, but kind of just chilling, talking through my thought process going into this weekend. And really, my plan is I expect, and I'm going to be fully liquid by Monday night. So that means my limiteds, my 89 team in the weeks, any assets I have that aren't going to be basically, maybe I'll hold a Terron Armstead over the weekend. I want to be going fully liquid going into next week as we kind of build that hype in anticipation for Thanksgiving promo. I want to have, hopefully I think I'll have over 20 mil going into this upcoming week, really. So I expect you guys, I want you guys to basically be fully liquid. I don't mean sell your teams. I never believe in actually selling your teams and buying them back, because the tax kind of just kills that kind of you saving coins. But really, save some coins. I want you guys to sell any assets that you've invested now, meaning like you can invest in Friday, right? You can snipe cheap training on Friday and try to sell it off later in the weekend, but try to be fully liquid after this, like by the end of this weekend. That's what my plan is, at least. I'm selling off all my core elites, except really I'm going to hold on to the Tyreek Hills and the Derwin James, unless they like basically spike in price, that I'll sell. But limited time investments, 89 team into the weeks, anything basically that we're doing this weekend, we want to sell off and be fully liquid going into next weekend. That's the plan. That's my thought process, at least for this episode 86 of the No Money Spent. Comment if you have any questions, like if you enjoyed the video. Discord link is in the description. Subscribe if you're new, and until tomorrow, peace.